You need more than chilly weather to delay the launch. That's what they're calling the Wisconsin spring game this year. Badger fans' first look at this new look program under head coach Luke Fickell. From Camp Randall, chills of excitement as this new era begins in the red and white spring game here on the Big Ten Network. We're bundled up and ready to go from Madison. I'm joined by All-American tight end at Michigan, Jake Butt. I'm Chris Foster's. Now, we just heard this, and I think I'm going to use it. You know, if you could compare this Badger program to a rocket, it's in pretty good shape. A perennial 10-win program, bowl-eligible program. But now they've got a new engine, and that's what Badger fans are really excited about.
That's right, Chris, and by a lot of standards, Paul Chryst had done a great job. You mentioned it, multiple 10-win seasons, multiple trips to Indianapolis, a couple games they actually had a chance to win the Big Ten championship. But in my opinion, as you look at this team under Chryst, they've just been banging their head against the ceiling, and in order to break through that ceiling, that's why you go out and get a guy like Luke Fickell. If you want to make it to the playoffs, well, he's been there, and he did that at Cincinnati, and you can see why there's so much excitement here in Madison. Speaking of excitement, we're going to see a brand new Wisconsin offense under offensive coordinator Phil Longo. Gone are the days where you see multiple tight end, multiple fullback sets. Coach Longo came from the Mike Leach air raid system, meaning he wants to stretch the field horizontally. He wants to attack the back end of the defense vertically. They went out and got their quarterback in Tanner Mordecai, who comes over from SMU where he put up huge numbers, set multiple school records. Now, we got to slow down a little bit here because Coach Longo said before we expect 50, 60 passing attempts throughout the season, he looked at this roster and said, who's our best playmaker? That's running back Braylon Allen. So his offense will look different, but they still want to live by that physical principle and giving their big junior running back a number of carries.
Some familiar pieces remain, but a new look to this Badger program under Luke Fickell and team. The launch, when we return, we'll check in with Brooke Fletcher down on the sideline as well for the Wisconsin spring football game. Welcome back to Madison for the start of the Wisconsin spring football game. And let's go down to the sideline and check in with Brooke Fletcher, who's standing by with new Wisconsin head coach Luke Fickell.
Coach, an exciting day for you and your team, but also for the fans here, first opportunity that they get to see you at the helm. So what can they expect to see at the launch today?
Well, hopefully a lot of energy, a lot of competitiveness. It's different than a spring game. I mean, this is everything we got. We're not holding anything back. We want to see who can win offense or defense, and this is the best we got, best on best.
With the amount of new faces, you being one of them, so what sort of value can something like this bring for not only your guys, but you as well?
Well, none of us know each other, and I say that in a way that we've known each other for maybe 5 months, but in competitive situations and adverse situations, you find out a lot more about each other, and we'll try to create that as much as we can for the players and as well as for the coaching staff today.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Have fun today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Chris?
Brooke, Coach, thank you very much. There is Tanner Mordecai. Jake, you were just talking about him, entering his 6th season in college football, but his first at Wisconsin, coming off an outstanding 2-year run at SMU. Spring football, you know, this is always somewhat of a toss-up in terms of format and scoring. Here's what we have for now for Wisconsin. 2 20-minute halves, traditional scoring for the offense. Now, this is the defensive scoring, points for a safety, a defensive touchdown, a turnover. You see it varies. We know that the coaching staff wants to keep this close and put some strain on the players that way so that, you know, it's a close game down the stretch. So here's the first play from scrimmage, and it's a handoff to Braylon Allen, who has racked up over 2,500 yards on the ground in just 2 seasons in college football. And we're paying attention to the tempo here early, Jake. It's 2nd down and 1, and Mordecai's first pass is complete over the middle.
And right away you can see that tempo, Chris, and that's something Badger fans probably aren't used to. You know, they're used to seeing the play clock tick down inside of 5 seconds, but this puts a lot of stress on the defensive coordinator to get their calls in.
And the pass is intercepted. Mordecai's second throw ends in an interception by safety Kamo'i Latu, who had a great season last year and figures to be a key part of the Badgers' defensive backfield.
Yeah, and this is the risk. You're going to see that safety right there in the middle of the field, and he's looking in the slot to newcomer Will Pauling. As you can see, just lets it sail, and he's staring down his receiver too much. And for a safety in Latu, he can just read the quarterback's eyes, and that's an easy pick interception for him.
All right, so it gives the defense wearing white a 3-point lead over the red team. That's the offense. And again, the first half of 2 20-minute halves. You know, the tempo. Badger fans, I think, are used to seeing almost all of the play clock evaporate per play. We're going to be seeing plays much quicker under this Luke Fickell and Phil Longo-led offense.
Yeah, and you know, the way I look at that is I say an offense inherently has a pre-snap advantage. You know where you're going as receivers and offensive players. You know when you're going to snap the ball, but the further down the play clock you get, that allows that defense to get their calls in, to make adjustments, to try to take away some of that advantage. When you snap it so early in the play clock, you're forcing them to just play on the fly and have to adapt. Now, all that being said, you still have to go out there and execute. That time, Mordecai didn't read the defense properly and threw an interception.
So this is the second unit on the field right now, and a design quarterback run for Braden Locke, the Mississippi State transfer, who's emerged really as the clear-cut #2 quarterback.
Mississippi State learned under Mike Leach. Again, offensive coordinator Phil Longo also learned under Mike Leach that familiarity to the offense has allowed him to separate and be the unchallenged backup for the Wisconsin Badgers.
Here's a second down. Grover Bortolotti is the tailback, number 43, and the pass is complete to Quincy Burrows on the boundary, and that's a first down for the offense in red.
And that right there, it's a simple out route, but that's part of the air raid system. Wisconsin was playing off and soft in their cornerback, so Phil Longo says, we're not going to try to force a run into a loaded box. Let's just take what the defense gives us and have an easy 4-yard completion.
I beg your pardon, Jake. It's a third down now. Here's the carry to Bortolotti, and that appears enough to move the sticks. Now a first down for the offense.
Immediately you can see a lot of shotgun. I don't know that they've been in under center yet. Everything's been tempo. They're trying to snap this ball early in the snap count.
Again, Braden Locke, the quarterback, at the start of his second college football season. And the pass to Burrows is complete, and a thump administered by Owen Arnett, the safety, number 18.
Man, that's a great catch by Burrows, coming over from Oklahoma State, their second leading receiver. And anytime you go across the middle, this is the risk you take. You know, there's safeties lurking back there, ready to light you up and try to pry that ball loose, but you earn a quarterback's trust by coming down with those plays.
Locke, pass complete. The tight end, Jack Eschenbach, entering his 6th season in the Wisconsin program.
And this is where the creativity comes in handy. You're starting to get into some of these play action looks. You're getting into tempo, and you can just feel this Wisconsin offense. They're pushing the issue right now. It seems like the second team white defense is kind of in the backseat right now.
Turning into a good drive for the second unit here as Bortolotti carries for about 4. More up-tempo from the Wisconsin offense here. And from the gun to the boundary, the pass is caught by Vinny Anthony, and he's dragged down by Arnett.
Once again, the tempo coming into play. Wisconsin had 2 secondary elements out there. Both of them went with the slant route on the inside, and that left Vinny Anthony wide open. And again, when you're snapping so quickly, the defense can't communicate as much and understand how they're going to switch off some of these route concepts.
The punt, the throw over the middle through the hands of Anthony, and incomplete. And depth at the wide receiver position really important for running this up-tempo style of offense too.
That's exactly what we were talking about with Coach Longo. Depth at the receiver, depth across the offensive line. They're asking a lot of these guys to get up and play quickly. It's a big piece of this is conditioning. And if they can start to rotate, they can keep those defensive players on the field, and that gives them, again, another advantage of tiring out that defense, putting in fresh bodies, and finding a way to give themselves a pre-snap advantage.
Bortolotti nudges the yard marker ahead by a yard, and a third down and long situation coming up for the number 2 unit, Wisconsin offense wearing red. quarterbacked by Braden Locke. The first unit, quarterbacked by Tanner Mordecai, threw an interception on its first drive of the spring game. Here's a third down in the red zone. Caught, and a touchdown for the Wisconsin second unit. Hayden Rucci, the tight end, with the first touchdown grab of the Wisconsin spring game.
That's exactly what you want to see out of Braden Locke in this second unit. A valuable situation. Third down, you're in the low red zone. You want to avoid all the mistakes, but look at the patience in the pocket. You see Braden Locke scanning the field, going through his reads, and then delivering a strike on the money to his tight end, Hayden Rucci. See his patience in the pocket, not pressing, not trying to make a mistake, staying strong, and a nice, accurate strike in traffic.
Nathaniel Vakos on for the point after attempt. Gavin Myers the hold. And the offense, wearing red, takes a 7-3 lead over the defense in white. First half of the spring game. Tonight, the USFL season continues with the Memphis Showboats taking on the Birmingham Stallions. That's at 7 Eastern, only on Fox. Plenty of eyes on this Wisconsin Badger program. The Luke Fickell era begins with the launch. Badger fans' first chance to see this new look program under Luke Fickell. The launch, a pretty genius marketing term, I think, devised by the UW marketing team.
And how about a launch of the offense? We're 10 minutes of real time into this game, Chris. What have we seen? 15, 20 plays by now. It's fresh, uncharacteristic for Wisconsin.
And continuing to cycle through the units and the tiers on the depth chart. This is Marshall Howe and the third unit on the field for the third drive of the game. Zach Glaudeman carries the ball across the 30. Marshall Howe from Pacific Palisades, California, running this third unit for the Wisconsin offense. Glaudeman again, third down coming up.
So when we talked to Coach Longo, he said the third spot, the third quarterback position, is still up for grabs. He wants to see one of these guys separate. Now it's Marshall Howe today, and he'll have a chance to go out there and try to play a clean game. The number one thing Longo's looking for is avoiding some of those mistakes, just operating within the scheme and within the system.
More ground game for the third unit. It's Glaudeman, pushed back about a yard shy of the line to gain, and a fourth down scenario coming up here. You'll notice that the clock is not moving, stopped at 15:50. Because this is the third unit, this does not count towards the clock or the score for that matter, hence the stoppage. Luke Fickell on the field behind the offense. 6 seasons as the head coach of Cincinnati, of course, a former Ohio State Buckeye as a college football player. Here's Howe over the middle, and the pass caught in traffic around the 40-yard line and brought in by Alex Moeller, the wide receiver.
That was a really nice pass there. You mentioned in traffic, tight coverage. Receiver sits down in the zone. Howe made the correct read, and not a lot of room for error there, but he put it right on his numbers.
On second down, carry up the middle to Cade Iacomelli, who's had a pretty good spring from what we understand. Carrying the football in a loaded Wisconsin backfield, of course, that includes Braylon Allen and Ches Malusi. And now a 3rd and 3 for the number 3s.
They're shifting out to an empty set. Last time 3rd and short, they went with the run. This one clearly a passing situation.
Howe in trouble. and throws it out of bounds, but a delayed blitz from the inside linebacker, Tyler Jancy.
Of course, when you go empty, that means the running back can't help with protection. The tight ends won't be in there to help with protection. That time, Wisconsin brings the blitz, and Howe gets flushed out of the pocket, does the smart thing, right? Sometimes you're in a quarterback battle trying to lock down that third spot. You can press and make a risky throw. Sometimes the best thing is just to live to fight another day and throw the ball away, and I know Longo's going to be happy to see that by Marshall Howe.
Best drive of the first half so far has come from the second unit, resulting in a touchdown. Both sides huddling up, and the ball spotted at the 25. Tanner Mordecai in the huddle. A record-setting career at SMU. This is his third stop. Started at Oklahoma, had 2 great seasons as the starting quarterback at SMU, and now is the front runner to run the offense for Wisconsin. Mordecai's last pass was intercepted, and that is juggled and dropped, the intended receiver, Keontez Lewis. And a flag on the play as Lewis had his legs taken out from underneath him as he attempted to make the catch.
Pass interference, defense, number 13, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Now, I was just going to say, coming off that last drive where he threw an interception, you know, maybe be a little bit safer here, try to look for your checkdowns. He kind of floated that one out to the right side of the field. And of course, the defensive pass interference, but you know, that's part of the reason they brought him in here. They want him to attack. They want him to trust his abilities and trust in his reads, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
Pitch out into the flat, and Skylar Bell, who had a great season last year for Wisconsin, out of the slot, and looks to continue that in the Luke Fickell program. Minimal gain, and it's second and long.
We're going to see more of these swing passes, these screen passes. They're passes, but they effectively supplement the run game as their high completion rates and get the ball in your playmaker's hands early.
Mordecai dances around, and the pass is complete to Bell, and a late flag comes in away from the play. Called a delay of game on the offense.
Delay a game in the tempo.
Exactly, something that we didn't think we would see, but hey, it's a spring football game. Well, Mordecai, he threw for 72 touchdowns in just 2 seasons at SMU. That's a program record. Threw 9 touchdowns in 1 game last season against Houston. On second after the penalty, the pass is intercepted by Ricardo Hallman. A bit of a long throw in the direction of Lewis. And 2 interceptions now for the Badgers' first unit on defense.
Now, Ricardo Hallman, right place, right time, make the catch. But watch number 11 there in the slot, Skylar Bell, coming down the left side of your screen. You're going to see, you see how he sits down there in the zone? Mordecai is expecting him to run. You can kind of see him slow down. He was concerned possibly about getting a hit, but you have to be on the same page as your quarterback, because if not, the defensive back's going to be there. And it's not a great start for Mordecai now. 2 drives, 2 interceptions. Of course, it's a spring game, so.
Let's check in with Brooke Fletcher down on the sidelines with Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, guys, I'm here with Jake now, who happened to come to Wisconsin for the weekend. He's been in Dallas for all of the offseason. It's not the best weather to welcome you back to Madison, huh?
Yeah, it's tough. Definitely different than Texas. I woke up and saw some snow and tried to put my head back and thought I was dreaming, but yeah, it's definitely snowing this morning.
Well, besides the weather, I mean, how's it been back here, reunited with some of your old teammates?
It's been awesome. I mean, I wasn't here when they redid the south end zone, and I mean, it's incredible. And then just like the atmosphere here. I mean, you think about Badger football and you think about that atmosphere, but then I got here and it's just like amplified. And I mean, I think it's whatever they're doing here, it's working. And I mean, I'm so excited to just come watch and just kind of be in this atmosphere again.
Yeah, there's a lot of chatter surrounding this team, new coaching staff, a lot of new faces. I mean, you've been able to kind of walk around the facility and get an idea of what this team is about. What's your first impression?
I think these guys are hungry. I think they're really hungry to prove who they are and prove what they can do. And I mean, everybody on this team, I mean, everybody who comes to Wisconsin, they come to Wisconsin because they love football and they love people, and what makes Wisconsin is the people. And it's just, I mean, it's a different feeling, and it's just great to be back.
Well, you are with the Cowboys now, so tell me how your first year was and expectations this upcoming season.
Yeah, it was awesome. I love Dallas. Definitely different weather. But I mean, they take care of me down there, and it's kind of similar to Madison in a way. It's just like one of those places where there isn't really clash between anybody. It's everybody's kind of just on the same page, one same goal, and I mean, that one goal is the Super Bowl. So,
Jake, we appreciate you taking the time. Enjoy the rest of your time here.
thank you.
Chris?
Thanks, Brooke. Thanks, Jake. Yeah, the weather in Dallas definitely is different as Kate Giacomelli carries for a first down for the number 2 unit on offense. The weather, by the way, here today, it's getting worse, Jake. It's snowing again. And I mean, what an atmosphere here in April. You talk about creating a high-stress environment for the players in the spring game. Giacomelli again on first down, and nothing like some adverse weather conditions.
Yeah, it just comes with the territory out here in the Midwest, right? It was 80 degrees last week. We were talking to Coach Fickell. He's like, man, can we get that weather this week? But nope, not here in the Midwest. You got to stay on your toes. Good to see Jake Ferguson back, though. And you know, Dalton Schultz was the tight end down there in Dallas last year, ends up moving over to Houston. It looks like Jake Ferguson, he'll be the number 1 guy. We'll see how the draft ends up, but really great career here in Wisconsin and a nice start to his young NFL career down there in Dallas.
Braden Locke, the quarterback, that pass through the hands of Hayden Rucci, the tight end. You know, that's another position of strength for Wisconsin's offense traditionally, the tight end position. Jake Ferguson, Troy Fumagalli. It'll be interesting to see how that position evolves under Luke Fickell.
Brand new role under Phil Longo as well. You know, they were asked to get their hand in the dirt, get nasty, get physical in the run game. And as you've seen this new look Wisconsin offense, they're spread out in the slot a lot more often.
Pass is caught by Anthony, a difficult grab, especially with Austin Brown draped all over him.
That's a really nice catch by Vinny Anthony, guy that the coaches mentioned has really come on late, really strong late here in the second half of spring, and that had some zip on it. We talk about the inclement weather, right? That's the concern maybe with an air raid offense is, can you run this offense in the inclement weather? Well, Vinny Anthony says it doesn't matter, man. You put it on my hands and I'm going to catch it.
There's Burrows with another grab, close to the first down.
Look at the zip coming out of there. And then the stickums by Vinny Anthony. Talk about Coach Longo. There's a big debate amongst these guys. Who's the fastest on the team? Will Pauling has a case. Vinny Anthony, he's made his case. They're going to need that speed to stress these defenses vertically in the fall under Phil Longo's new air raid system.
Well, a successful blitz by the defense, and Brian Sanborn, a last name that Wisconsin fans will recognize. His brother Jack was a standout here in the program and now is with the Chicago Bears. Picks up a sack there, and it's 3rd and long.
Big conversation on the defense, too, is how do you replace Nick Herbig coming off the edge, your elite pass rusher? How do you replace the interior Keanu Benton? Who's going to make up for some of that disruption? And Brian Sanborn says, well, if you send me on the blitz, I'll get in the backfield and mix things up. That's a really nice play to force him at 3rd and long.
It gives the defense the lead here in the first half. Here's another grab by Anthony over the middle, but short of the first down.
why not go for it in the spring game, right?
You're down.
Yeah. Well, I guess they told us there won't be too many punts out here, right? So they want to keep the offense and the defense on the field. They want to continue, again, new coaches on both sides, new coordinators on both sides. Every single rep is valuable. In a 4th and short situation, this is great to evaluate your guys.
Number 2 unit on the field, Locke, the quarterback, and suddenly he was staring Caden Johnson in the face, and the 2nd unit on defense wearing white comes up with a big stop.
Tempo's got its pluses. Tempo's got its minuses. That time, the Wisconsin defense brought a nickel blitz off the slot, and typically that means the running back's got to stay in and identify that and take a piece off the edge rushers. Well, when you run tempo, you might not see the picture clearly or spend enough time evaluating the defense. The running back steps up and he gets into his route tree, and then there comes a Wisconsin defender completely unblocked and in your quarterback's face right away.
So even though the drive stalls, Braden Locke and the 2nd unit has had the most success moving the football today in the spring game. We were talking about that blitz, Jake.
So there, right in the middle of your screen, he's coming off the slot, and you can see the tackle is expecting the running back to step up and block Caden Johnson there, but you can see the running back's getting into his route. Everyone's got to be on the same page. And one of the advantages of huddling is you have the time to communicate. Everyone can start to evaluate the picture and be aligned on their assignment. When you're getting the calls from the sideline, you're getting up there, you just don't have that time. And again, this is practice 15 through spring ball. This is going to be one thing they're going to need to work on throughout the summer and fall camp to get it cleaned up before the season.
Nick Evers is the quarterback now for Wisconsin, number 7, in the handoff to Zach Glaudeman. And note that the clock is not moving right now because this is the 3rd unit on both offense and defense. The clock only runs when the 1s and 2s are on the field.
As we talked about with the 3rd unit last time, it's still an open competition. So Marshall Howe started him off. Now Nick Evers in at quarterback.
Evers' first throw of the spring game is out of bounds.
And when Fickell came in here, you know, it was starting to recruit that quarterback position through the transfer portal, and Evers was one of the first guys to commit, and a lot of Wisconsin fans thought, okay, great, we got our guy that's going to be under center. He's going to pilot this offense, and then in comes Braden Locke and Tanner Mordecai, and now Nick Evers finds himself in a position he may not have expected when he initially committed. But that's also the value and the beauty of it. You have an opportunity, as much as it is challenging, to go out there and prove yourself to your teammates and your coaching staff.
3rd and long. Evers from Flower Mound, Texas. There's a penalty flag that comes in, but you see the speed of Evers as he runs toward the sideline. He's got enough for a first down as it stands, but it looks like it's coming back.
Holding, offense, number 76. Penalty declined, 4th down.
For the biggest Big Ten experience, there's no plus like home. The Big Ten Plus app powered by Big Ten Network. Download and subscribe now. Snow showers continuing to fall here in Madison. It is April 22nd. 1 week ago, it was 75 and sunny, and now it's below freezing.
Well, just knowing how football coaches are, right? And Luke Fickell, an Ohio guy, he's used to the snow. Now he's in Wisconsin. He better get used to the snow, right? It's this, in a sense, this is valuable because this is what you're going to expect in late November as you're trying to make a push to Indianapolis and compete for a Big Ten title.
Do you think, here's Evers on a quarterback run, and the play whistled down at about midfield. Do you think Fickell is wearing shorts, you know, to send a message, or do you think he just didn't check the weather report today?
Listen, again, he's a linebacker. He's born and raised in Ohio. Finds himself up here in Wisconsin. It is to send a message to your team. We're going to embrace the elements.
Yeah, guys.
Let's go down to
right
Brooke
before
Fletcher.
The game, yeah, guys, right before the launch started, I was talking to Coach about his shorts. I said, hey, you're just really embracing the Wisconsin lifestyle, aren't you? And he was like, listen, it could be 100 degrees, it could be 30 degrees like it is today. He's like, the shorts always stay around. So that's just him, guys. You got to have respect for it.
Yeah, you sure do.
We're bundled up here, though, Chris. I didn't bring my shorts on this trip.
I did not. I almost didn't bring my winter jacket because I thought there's no way the temperature is going to drop that much. But in the Midwest, it's a total coin flip these April days, weather-wise.
One more for other hand.
Iacomelli on the carry, and he's roped down.
Just my early thoughts, you know, of this game. Heavy emphasis on pass because, for the most part, they haven't been able to get consistent push amongst the offensive line. You know, Nick Evers has done it with his feet a little bit, but, you know, and this is the third unit, but Braylon Allen's their best offensive weapon at this point. And even though there's a new system, a new air raid system, they still are going to have to get to this run game, get some of those easy yards, and put the ball in their big tank, Braylon Allen's hands. Another guy, Ches Malusi, of course. They got really two great running backs.
Garrison Soliday credited with the sack. No scoring with the third unit on the field at the moment, and that is why the clock is stopped as well. 2 halves of 20 minutes. Nick Evers at the controls, his first series. Iacomelli the motion back, and Evers quickly sacked. Credit Jordan Mayer, the outside linebacker, for that.
A couple guys in the backfield right there. I don't know what happened with the offensive line, if they were confused, if they thought it was a screen, if they didn't get the snap count fully, but I don't know that a single offensive lineman did their job there. A lot of white jerseys on Evers very, very quickly.
So one thing we're still looking to see, a successful drive by the first unit for this Wisconsin offense. Tanner Mordecai, number 8, heads out onto the field now. He's been picked off in his first 2 drives.
Yeah, before we even talk about a successful drive, let's just talk about stop shooting yourself in the foot. You know, 2 of those interceptions, one of them on Mordecai, the other one a miscommunication between him and Skylar Bell. But you just want to see them start to get some momentum and string together some successful plays. And
that's Braylon Allen across the 30 to the 31-yard line.
Didn't look like a good start, but again, that's why you give the ball to Braylon Allen. Even when he looks bottled up in the backfield, he's going to make something out of it.
Allen again probes the line of scrimmage and was quickly discovered by the defensive lineman Rodis Johnson, who's having a great spring. But Braylon Allen has had a great career for Wisconsin. 2,510 rush yards in just 2 seasons and 23 total touchdowns.
Yeah, and then the yards per attempt too, 6 yards per carry. Every time he touches the ball in the backfield, you're saying you can get 6 yards.
Mordecai's pass is incomplete in the direction of Chimere Dike and broken up.
It's Ricardo Hallman. Again, he had the interception last drive. His name consistently has come up this spring as a guy that's really stood out. And Coach Fickell had a great quote about Ricardo Hallman. He said, we're not looking for the occasionally great. We're looking for the consistently good. And I think that perfectly exemplifies the kind of spring that Ricardo Hallman's been having.
Jack Pugh, the tight end, in motion. Mordecai airs it out, looking for DK, and one-on-one coverage, and it's Hallman again. Ricardo Hallman's second interception of the spring game, and cornerback was a position of need for Wisconsin this offseason, and they maybe have found a guy.
And he did it with style, too, with only one hand in these elements. They were trying to run a double move outside there to Chimere Dike. We're just seeing the end of the route. He kind of stuttered his feet, but Hallman stayed disciplined. He didn't bite on it. He stayed on top of the route, and then look at him get his eyes around. This is the challenge of a defensive back. You only see that ball for a split second. Hard to catch it with two hands. Ricardo Hallman only sees it for a split second and comes down with one.
With offensive pass interference, candidly. All right, let's go down to Brooke Fletcher on the sideline.
Yeah, guys, Coach Trissel said that the second half of spring, Hallman has really come a long way, really embracing the new system and Coach Fickell's standards of just consistency, effort, and attitude. You know, consistency is what Coach Fickell is especially noticing. He said, you know, we strive to not just be occasionally great, like you said earlier, Jake, that we want to be consistently good, and Hallman has just really embraced that so far this spring.
Well, Brooke, I'll tell you what, right now, he's being consistently great.
Standout so far of the day.
Yeah.
2 interceptions, a nice pass breakup on third down the play before.
Braden Locke, the quarterback, and that pass behind Hayden Rucci, the tight end.
You know, so much of the talk this spring was how good the offense looked. And, you know, there's people making a case that potentially the offense might be a strength when traditionally under Jim Leonard in the previous defensive system, the defense was a strength. But here today in the final spring practice, the launch, I'd give the credit to the defense, Chris. They've really come on strong, and to me, they're winning the day so far.
This is Braden Locke, who's engineered the only touchdown drive for Wisconsin's offense today. You know, we've seen multiple quarterbacks on some designed runs so far.
And again, they still want to run the ball, but how they do it will look different this fall. You know, last fall and the previous decade or so, it was multiple tight end sets. It's a fullback, it's under center. But now, as you just look at the structure of this offense, it's spread out. There's no one attached to the line of scrimmage. And you're going to have to get creative because sometimes the defense is going to have too many guys in the box. You have to leave one of them unblocked and get into a read option scenario.
That play blown dead. Gio Paez, the nose tackle, number 94, could be poised for a big season anchoring the defensive front for Wisconsin.
Another guy, it's Keanu Benton's gone, probably maybe sneaks into the first round, maybe round 2, maybe round 3. They're going to have to fill that hole physically, of course, in the talent-wise. Rodis Johnson and Gio Paez are 2 names that both Fickell and defensive coordinator Tressel singled out, said, watch out for these guys. They might be ready for a breakout season.
On first down, Grover Bortolotti got hit pretty hard by Paez at the end of that run. Locke to the flat and the pass behind Vinny Anthony, who's got a couple of grabs today, and they did rule that a backwards pass. Anthony recovered the loose ball, but the ball now placed at the 9-yard line.
Let's see if this was backwards. It doesn't look backwards. Doesn't look backwards, but regardless, that came off really poorly for Braden Locke. You know, they're emphasizing the tempo. We can clearly see this, but to me, it's a sloppy start for all 3 units on the offensive side of the ball. Outside of the one drive, haven't really been able to get anything going consistently. You know, for Coach Longo, maybe there's a time when you do slow it down a little bit and let these guys catch their breath and settle into the game.
Locke sacked there. Play blown dead before the throw. Is it a situation of with installing this tempo, you got to walk before you can run? We will continue to break down the tempo for this Wisconsin offense when we come back from Madison as coverage continues of the Wisconsin football spring game. One touchdown drive so far today for the Wisconsin offense. It was the number 2 unit that punched the ball over the goal line. The defense wearing white has racked up 15 points through an assortment of interceptions and sacks and stoppages. Tanner Mordecai on the field. He's been the #1 quarterback in spring camp, and here's the handoff to Braylon Allen, his longest run of the spring game. Cut down across the 50-yard line by Hunter Wohler.
Man, is he great. Look at him press down the right side of the line, but quickly identifies the hole is to the backside, and you can see his talent. Even at 240 pounds, he's able to make that jump cut, and then he looks like a freight train running down the field. Good job by the secondary tackle. That's a big man to try to bring down.
Allen ran through the Latu arm tackle and picks up another first down for Wisconsin. This is the #1 unit on the field, their best drive of the day.
And their best drive is really on the shoulders of Braylon Allen and Chez Mellusi, too. He had a couple carries there. And I think when your quarterbacks are struggling, they're making mistakes, just make it simple. Get it back get the ball in the hands of your best playmakers, which are in the running back room.
Mordecai, he did hand it off to Braylon Allen. Continued the play fake after he handed the football off. Allen's 3rd straight rush.
And Allen, he put on some weight this offseason. Already a really big running back his previous years, but he said he put on about 10 pounds without losing speed. He looks the part down there, man. He looks absolutely jacked. And the thing is with this spread offense, if he can break through to that second level, he gets all that extra weight, all that extra momentum and inertia to help break some of those tackles downfield.
Mordecai, a dart over the middle and a hard collision with one of the officials. Jack Pugh was the tight end running the route. The umpire, who's always right in the middle of the action, got hit incidentally. I think by the football and the route runner, Pugh.
Oh, my. You need an ice tub after this game, Chris.
Did you ever run into an official?
I didn't. No, I didn't. Now, Jack Pugh's a big guy, too, 6'5", 252, and he was running it. Good to see the officials okay.
Former Michigan tight end Jake Butt, Chris Foster's Brooke Fletcher on the sidelines. As the sun is out, we've seen winter weather, now spring weather here today, getting a little bit of everything in Madison in late April. Mordecai to the flat, that's Skylar Bell, who tap dances down the sideline and moves the chains.
Much better drive for Mordecai. Earlier in his previous 2 drives, he was pressing the ball down the field. Maybe wants to make a statement to the new fans and the new fans watching at home, but he's had a couple completions. All of them have been within the first 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, just taking what the defense gives to him.
Chez Mellusi in at tailback now, #1 to the left of Mordecai. To the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Pugh, the tight end. 2nd down.
And for better or for worse, even with the 2 interceptions, he's going to continue slinging that ball downfield and testing the back end of the defense. It's really nice coverage, and Jack Pugh just couldn't come down with it.
Ball in the red zone for the first unit Wisconsin offense. Chez Mellusi on the sweep, gets to the edge and turns up field. 3rd down coming up.
Similar situation as we saw the 2nd unit earlier with Braden Locke. Low red zone, that's a situation. 3rd down, that's a situation. This first unit has 2 turnovers by way of interception to start the game. The last thing you want down here when you can get 3 points as a minimum is to make a mistake. So hopefully for Mordecai, he can make the right read and, if nothing else, just throw the ball away if it's not there.
Clean pocket, DK on the crossing route, and a quick tackle made by Ricardo Hallman, who has 2 interceptions today and clearly just a nose for the football.
And a great job, too. I mean, if you don't make that tackle, that's a first down, that's a touchdown. The good cornerbacks, they're good in coverage. The great cornerbacks, they're good in coverage and they'll come up and hit you. And that time a big tackle on 3rd down to now force 4th down.
It's the spring game, but still a big play for the first unit here, looking to punch the ball in for the first time today. Mellusi on the carry to the 5 and finished off by Wohler, but a 1st and goal coming up for the Wisconsin offense.
So much of this drive is on these Wisconsin running backs, and now you find yourself inside the 5-yard line. Traditionally, this means Wisconsin Badger football. Put it in the hands of your running backs. And again, Braylon Allen, 6'2", 240.
Yeah.
Just give the ball to him up the middle a couple times.
Well, he's in the backfield now. He gets the rock, and he's into the end zone. The formation might look different. The result is very similar for Wisconsin fans. Braylon Allen with the touchdown.
And it gets hot, right? They were able to extend the drive. They were able to get the drive, 10, 11 plays here, and a lot of carries to Braylon Allen, and that time with the momentum is able to finish it off with the touchdown.
Point after try, up and good from Vakos. Spring football on the Big Ten Network is presented by the USFL. The USFL season continues tonight, 7 Eastern, only on Fox. Very fitting that as the sun has come out here in Madison, the #1 offense finds its stride, punches the ball in with a Braylon Allen touchdown run. There is the man of the hour, Luke Fickell, first-year head coach for the Wisconsin Badgers. Now it looks like shorts were maybe a good idea for his wardrobe today.
Got a little bit of everything today. A little rain, a little snow, a little clouds, now a little sunshine.
You're keeping the gloves on up here outside the press box. We've got Brooke Fletcher down on the sidelines, and we'll check in with her now.
Yeah, guys, I'm here with Brady Collins, the Director of Strength and Conditioning here. Brady, you're getting your steps in today. You're out there with Coach. You had to run away real quick to go tell the guys good job here. How much fun are you having out here with the team?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, you see these guys work so hard throughout the whole offseason, all this new challenges that, were bestowed upon them. And you get a day like this with a little bit of snow, and then the beautiful sun's out now. But they're just out here having fun, playing the game they love. And for us, it's the best.
You came over here from Cincinnati with Coach Fickell, and Coach Fickell said, listen, he wanted to embrace the footprints that were here with Wisconsin, but put his own spin on it. How have you kind of kept that mentality when it comes to their strength and conditioning?
Yeah, I think it's just about, understanding the culture that's here. You got tough, hard-nosed kids they're high-character kids, and they're very intelligent. And, all we wanted to do was enhance the culture, take it to another level. The intensity, the urgency that, we train them, all they did was want more. So I think that, the job that they've done, you're seeing it now on the field, it just all kind of lines up.
Well, part of these new workouts,
We have an injury on the field, Brooke, and sorry to interrupt your interview with Brady Collins, but that is Cade Iacomelli, one of Wisconsin's running backs, helped up after just briefly lying on the turf for a moment, and he's heading off to the sideline under his own power. Let's get it back to Brooke.
Brady, you were talking about the new conditioning and the new routines here, and I heard someone told me that there's a basketball goal in the training room here. Is this part of that new workout to build up the endurance? Explain to me.
I always wanted a basketball hoop in my weight room, and you could do competitions. Guys, after they're all blown up, they get over there, they try to shoot, they don't look as good, but it's just about making an environment. They know they're going to work hard, but we have fun while we're doing it. And no doubt my staff and I, we like to play some games there too.
All right, well, who has the best hops? You got to tell me.
On the team? Or
yeah.
The strength staff?
Well, strength staff and the team.
Team? That's tough. That's real tough. Let's go, we'll go maybe Will Pauling.
Okay. And Coach Fickell told me, as you guys made your way over here to Madison, you actually lived together for a little bit. How was that?
That was awesome. He couldn't take it too much longer, though. He called it the frat house. We like to stay up a little bit later and watch some random things and enjoy a few beverages, but it was fun. It was a good time.
Bring you back to the old college.
That's right, exactly. I think that's why he moved out.
All right, Brady, thank you so much. Chris, back to you.
You know, I always say the strength coach is, in my opinion, you can make a case it's the second most important position on the team because of NCAA rules. Like, we're going through spring ball right now. You know, the coaches get to be there, but what about winter conditioning? What about summer conditioning? That's when you lay the foundation of your culture, and that falls on the strength coach. Not just for weight room numbers, not just for conditioning, but to say, hey guys, this is the culture of what we want to be as a team once the fall comes around. And, you know, Brady Collins immediately making his mark on this team. Of course, a big piece of this, as we've seen throughout this show and throughout this game, is the new tempo on offense, making sure the linemen, the receivers, the defense are all in shape so they can handle this newfound conditioning.
Anthony with the catch and pushed out of bounds.
Okay, right now we're just having an issue with our play-by-play guy. Chris Foster's mic is down. Winding down the first half here, about under a minute left, and looking like this is a 2-minute situation for the Red offense. And looking at Tommy McIntosh, the receiver downfield, and Miles Burkett, he had him actually. He had a step on him, so he tried to lay it out there. Left it a little short. Looks like they're going to get defensive pass interference, but had he put it on the money, that's a touchdown. You know, I always say, too, if you're going to take a shot down the field, it's better to underthrow it than overthrow it, and that's the reason why. When you do underthrow it, the receiver can work back to the football, and, you know, the defensive backs in that case, it's the freshman Diclona that knew he was beat. He runs into the receiver, and even though you had a touchdown if you were threw it accurately, you still are able to get the DPI and get some plus yards. It's a nice break up there by Jonas Ducklona. After this half ends, even though you're seeing the clock tick down, it's kind of a 2-minute situation, but after this half ends, they're going to run a drill that most teams do. It's going to be a situational drill. They're going to let the ones and the twos operate in a 2-minute going into half situation. So here's one of the advantages there. You saw a defensive lineman trying to sprint off the field. Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers does this really well. When you're doing tempo and you don't sub, you know, they're trying to rotate defensive linemen in there as they get a little tired, but they're going to have 12 men on the field, and it's a free play for the offense.
Substitution, defense, 12 players on the field, penalties declined. Offsides, defense, number 90, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
So there was the illegal substitution. Again, you're getting in these tempo situations. The bigger bodies on the inside, these 300-pound defensive linemen, they can't stay on the field for 8 or 9 plays in a row. They got to try to sub. Well, a good quarterback should say, hey guys, we got to go. Snap the ball with 12 men on the field, and then you get a free play. And that's good to see. Yakimelli is back in the game. And a really nice run there on first down. So we'll see what Coach Fickell does. This is a nice drive by the Red offense. It looks like Coach Fickell is going to let them finish it out. After this drive concludes, we're going to see 2 units go through the 2-minute drill. And that's Grover Bortolini. So early in this game, Wisconsin's offense is trying to, Phil Longo comes in. It's the air raid system. felt they were a little pass happy, and now as the first half is wound down and we're getting ready to put a bow on it, they're getting back to that physical brand of running game, getting the ball in the running back's hands. You've seen some pullers coming around, and just not just for the running backs, it just helps settle the entire offense in. There was a coach that once said this, you know, when you pass the ball, 3 things could happen. 2 of them are bad. It's an incompletion or an interception. When you run the ball, as long as you don't fumble, which is in your control, you can then avoid some of those bigger mistakes. A couple trips down to the low red zone here for the Wisconsin offense. A couple touchdowns. Let's see if Braden Locke can finish this one out. One thing, look at Tanner Mordecai, the projected starter. Braden Locke really has this second quarterback spot locked down. Just talking to Phil Longo, he talked about, they have a saying in their quarterback room, knowledge is reps. And what that really means is when you have a full knowledge of this offense, that's when you'll get the reps. And for Braden Locke there, you know, first play, knowledge is throwing the ball away when it's applicable. Knowledge is also swinging it out to the flat, putting the ball in your playmaker's hands. Just having a full knowledge of the offense and the grasp of Phil Longo's system allows us to succeed as we welcome back Chris Foster's our play-by-play guy. Chris, you all good?
I'm good. I don't want to kill your vibe. You were doing great. I was having fun listening to you. And with Braden Locke at the controls, here's a 3rd and goal for the number 2 unit. Glaudeman is the running back. He's got the ball now and is stood up and thrown down almost immediately. James Thompson Jr. led the charge, number 90 on that defensive line.
Just was talking about the success. You know, Wisconsin was finally finding some success on the ground. It gets a little bit harder to run the ball the closer you get to the end zone. You know, the field's shorter, and that time ran into a brick wall of white Wisconsin defenders. White jersey Wisconsin defenders.
Playing out this final drive of the first half. It's 4th down. Locke in trouble off his back foot, and the pass was dropped by Burrows. Give a lot of credit to Jonas Tuclona, the cornerback, Jake, for sticking with that play and breaking it up.
Yeah, well, earlier in the drive, he had the defensive pass interference. He got beat, and that time it looked like it was going to be a really nice catch, but Tuclona doesn't give up on it. And we call putting your hand in the triangle. When the receiver goes up for a pass, you have that triangle, you frame the football. Good defensive back gets his hand there and breaks the ball up. For a freshman in Tuclona, that's a great job.
You know, what the spring game can really benefit a guy like that. Chance, a taste of game action at, you know, nearly full speed. You know, good for his confidence.
And cornerback position is a position to watch. We've seen Ricardo Hallman make plays. Jason Maitre coming over from Boston College there in the nickel slot. He's got that locked down. Alex Smith on the other side of the field at the cornerback position. They know who their starters are, but they have some youth. Tuclona is a freshman. Jones, number 8, is also a redshirt freshman. So behind those 3 starters, it's an open competition to see which one of these younger guys is going to step up.
Glaudeman on the carry up the middle, and Miles Burkett is the quarterback, number 16 in black.
So it looks like they're going to let the 3rd unit run a series before they get into that 2-minute situation with the 1st and 2nd units.
Nothing on the ground for Glaudeman. 3rd down from the 30. Burkett over the middle, and the pass nearly caught. Would have been an impressive grab by Hakan Anderson.
Seen a couple guys operate with this 3rd offense. Marshall Howe, Nick Evers, now Miles Burkett. Coach Longo said he just wants one of these guys to separate, and it's not about talent. They all have arm talent. They all can make the throws, but going back to that phrase they have in the quarterback room, knowledge is reps. He wants one of them to separate by grasping what is required to run this air raid Mike Leach, Phil Longo system. And of course, the knowledge is even more important, Chris, understanding the tempo. There's less time to think about it, right? You have to get the call, and you got to assess a defense right now. Then you have to go out and execute.
Burkett on the head fake, ran through the defensive end. I mentioned a lot of these quarterbacks in the room for Wisconsin transfers from out-of-state programs. Burkett is an in-state product. He's from Franklin, Wisconsin, in the Milwaukee suburbs. Iacomelli, the running back reception out of the backfield. Iacomelli, a big run after the catch.
It's just a basic basic route concept. It's double slants outside by the receivers. It's a running back into the flat. That's stuff we've run since Pee Wee football. But again, when you're running this tempo system, the picture can start to present itself very early. And then it's on the quarterback to identify that and throw an accurate ball. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers so you can get some of these easy, explosive plays.
Right back to Iacomelli. Iacomelli, great job fighting through initial contact, but the play eventually finished off by Marty Stry.
Just to continue on that, it's, you know, one of the thoughts of why you run this air raid system is instead of having to methodically move the ball down the field with 8, 9, 10 play drives, what you want to do is you want to get some of these easier explosives. Get the ball, again, into your guy's hands early. Let him make a guy miss. See if you can get big chunk explosive plays, 20, 30 yards. Break off a 60-yard touchdown. You know, not only are those points on the board, they're emotional points. It builds confidence and it plants seeds of doubt in the defense, too. Something that Wisconsin hasn't had on the offensive side of the ball in a couple years.
When you throw out the name air raid offense, you know, that causes people to feel some type of way. Burkett incomplete, looking for Bortolotti. I think important for Badger fans to realize that it's not the air raid offense, but this just has air raid principles because offensive coordinator Phil Longo comes from that system. July 15th, the BTN Big 10K returns to Soldier Field in Chicago for the fantastic 10K and 5K races and tailgate party. Scan the QR code or register right now at btnbig10k.com. Hopefully the weather is much warmer for the Big 10 B10K. Okay, we are into the 2-minute drill portion of the first half now. As you can see, the clock has already hit the 20-minute first half cap. There's Phil Longo in the huddle right now.
So anytime you get in a 2-minute situation, Chris, the first that you want to have one positive play. The first play is the most important. Get a completion, hand the ball off, whatever you can do to start getting in some plus yards, and then you can start to operate your offense.
Mordecai to the flat, and the pass dropped. Pugh, the tight end.
Another thing to think about here in 2 minutes, everything's faster. So most teams that huddle, they might have a rack of 10 plays or so. You're operating you know, 1 through 10, those are your 2-minute plays. Well, in this up-tempo system, the whole playbook's wide open because this is kind of how they operate offensively traditionally.
Mordecai, and the pass just a little bit low for Ches Malusi out of the backfield.
And you see the importance of starting with one positive play. Now
Yes.
2 incompletions, and you find yourself in 3rd and 10 in a going into half 2-minute situation. Now the coach might say, well, you know, let's just live to fight another day, run the ball, run the clock out, and punt and close out the half.
Limits the playbook a little bit. Here's the 3rd and 10. Mordecai pressured from behind, and that's ruled a sack. Jordan Turner crashed the party, number 54, and that's a good 2-minute drill for the defense. We'll be back in a moment from Madison as our coverage of the Wisconsin spring football game rolls along on the Big Ten Network. Spring football on the Big Ten Network is presented by the USFL. The USFL season continues tonight at 7, only on Fox. Much more to come from Madison. You're watching the Wisconsin spring football game. The launch is underway. Spring or fall, jump around is always in season in Madison. It is chilly, but you got people jumping around on the sidelines and in the bowl at Camp Randall as well. What did you think of this tradition as someone coming in here wearing opposing team colors?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I never got to play here in this stadium. I played Wisconsin at home in 2016, but it's one of the great traditions in college football, and certainly very valuable on a day like this where it's chilly. Get the crowd jumping around a little bit, get some blood flow, get some juice.
With Jake Butt, 2-time Big Ten tight end of the year at Michigan. Braylon Allen has had some big rushes today in the spring game for Wisconsin. You know, he was looking at the transfer portal when the coaching change was made for Wisconsin, and you know, did his research and ultimately decided to stay in Madison.
Yeah, so initially, again, we've used the word air raid quite a bit, and again, offensive coordinator Phil Longo comes from Mike Leach's system, which most people think is heavy passing, and Braylon Allen said, hey, that is heavy passing, but Coach Longo said, why don't you look at some of my history? And as much as it is heavy passing, you can go back to 2020 where Phil Longo had not just 1, but 2,000-yard rushers in Mike Carter and Javonte Williams in his system. So Coach Longo, he's not afraid to run the ball. What he told us is he wants to look at where's the weak point of the defense, and let's attack that, whether that's run or pass.
Well, there are lots of weak points in a defense when Braylon Allen is running the football. His first carry of the second half, which is now underway. 2 20-minute halves structuring the time of the UW spring game. There's Tanner Mordecai, number 8. Had a rough start in the first half. He threw 3 interceptions, and there's Braylon Allen who busts a big one. They whistle the play down.
Why'd they whistle that down?
Well, remember, the number 1s are not going to tackle in the second half.
Okay.
So that is why
it looked like that was a clean, broken tackle, right? I guess he's just tagging off.
Enough to stretch the legs.
He was ready to go. Yeah, he was bursting
go
down the sideline. He had me fooled for a second there.
It's 3rd and 7. This number 1 unit for Wisconsin scored 1 touchdown in the first half. And there's C.J. Williams, and it's Ricardo Holman who picks off another pass through the hands of Williams, number 4, the wide receiver. And Holman has got his 3rd interception of the spring game.
And once again, I mean, it's just gift wrap for him. He's actually in great coverage. Back shoulder ball goes right through C.J. Williams' hands, and right place, right time once again for Ricardo Holman. It just falls straight into his hands. You know, C.J. Williams got to come down with that. highest rated receiver to be here in Wisconsin. Former top 10 receiver in the country, a former 4-star, and they brought him in to make plays like that. But of course, if you're Ricardo Hallman, if you don't want to make the play, I'll take the interception and take it down the sideline.
Hallman was a redshirt freshman last year. He made 8 starts in 9 games, so he got a good amount of experience last year, but looks like he could really be a difference maker in Luke Fickell's defense and Mike Tressel's defense, the defensive coordinator, come fall.
He's a great story. I mean, you mentioned all the experience. You know, the pivotal point for him was the Michigan State game last year. He gave up a number of touchdowns. It wasn't his best game overall, but you know what they say for defensive backs, you got to have a short memory. You got to be able to put the pass behind you. And he came into this offseason completely refocused. Came into the spring refocused and has built that momentum. You know, you can look back and say, who are some of the names that have continually popped up throughout the spring? Well, Ricardo Hallman is one of those guys. Every single practice at the end, you say, this is going to be one of the anchors of the back end of this Wisconsin defense.
And Wisconsin's defense last season in particular, known for its ability to stop the run. Luke Fickell's defenses in Cincinnati heralded for their ability to stop the pass. So you talk about meshing the elites here as Locke's check down is caught by Rucci, the tight end, and he's tripped up after a minimal gain, brings up 3rd down.
A big piece of that, too, is the different offenses they played. Here in the Big Ten West, you have to stop the run. Playing Iowa, playing Minnesota, you know, playing some of these teams. Illinois, right? Well, in Cincinnati, you're in the AAC where it's a little bit more pass happy. So the beautiful thing is you can take in what made Wisconsin so successful under Jim Leonard, take Cincinnati, what made them so successful stopping the pass, and like you said, Chris, mesh the elites.
Locke to Anthony, the wide receiver out of the backfield. Anthony ran past Sanborn and eventually got out of bounds. We've called Anthony's name more than a couple times in the spring game.
We were told, you know, especially in the second half of this spring, Anthony finds himself in the slot. You know, Skylar Bell had that role locked down last year. Then they bring in Will Pauling, another name that's popped up. But we were told, watch out for number 86, Vinny Anthony, especially the second half of the spring. He's came on strong, and you know what Coach Longo told us is they need depth, they need numbers. They're going to hurry up and run tempo. They need 10, 11 guys that they can try to rotate through and make plays across the field.
Glaudeman on the carry to the 39-yard line.
And Coach Longo mentioned this too. You know, you look at the returning production at the receiver position. Keontez Lewis, Skylar Bell's back. Chimere Dike's back. He said, hey, you're going to see these guys in a new light, right? Those are your top 3 leading receivers from last year, but now they're going to get the chance to showcase their skills in a completely new system. So, you know, don't throw it all out what you've seen, but you're going to see these guys get a number of more opportunities on the edge of the defense, a number of more opportunities to make plays with the balls in their hand.
Quincy Burrows thought that was a catch, number 5. It was ruled incomplete from Braden Locke.
Quincy Burrows, C.J. Williams, Will Pauling. We just mentioned the 3 guys that returned. Those are the 3 new guys in town that all transferred in and have also made a name for themselves. Really excited. Quincy Burrows coming over from Cincinnati.
Quick hitter to Tommy McIntosh. And he picks up a 1st down to midfield, 11-yard gain. Depth is really a word that we've heard a lot, regardless of the position group you're talking about, offense or defense. Yakimelli on the carry. You know, we haven't even touched on the Wisconsin offensive line a whole lot, but we'll continue that conversation later on. And let's go down to Brooke Fletcher on the sideline.
Yeah, Chris, I'm here with Michael Cohen, the Fox Sports writer for college football. Michael, it's great to see you again. You know, talking about this offense here in the backfield especially, we've seen Braylon Allen and Chez Mellusi getting a lot of action here. They've really established themselves as a two-headed monster in the backfield. Where do they stand going into this season amongst some of the best backfields in the Big Ten?
Well, it's really interesting because this could be the year of the tandem running back in the Big Ten. At Michigan, you have Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. At Ohio State, you have Travion Henderson and Mayan Williams. At Penn State, you have Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. And here you have Chez Mellusi and Braylon Allen. And their big goal for this season is they'd love to be the first two Wisconsin running backs to each top 1,000 yards since 2013 when it was Melvin Gordon and James White.
Melvin Gordon is actually Braylon Allen's idol, so he was really excited to move to running back there. But let's talk about Coach Fickell. You know, he said when he came here, he wanted to embrace the footprints that are here at Wisconsin, but put his own spin on it. So you had a chance to sit down with him. How has that transition been like for him?
Well, it's a really delicate balance, right? Because he comes in and he replaces the coach in Paul Christ, who played here, and it's an athletic director who also played here in Chris McIntosh. So it's a finding a balance between doing what you want to do and instilling your own principles while also making sure the alumni still feel welcome, that you can connect with them, that they know that they can still be part of this program even though Luke Fickell is quote-unquote an outsider. So it's been a real balancing act for him, and he's done a nice job of trying to make sure he connects with both high school coaches, alumni, and anyone who has a past with this program so that he knows the past is being carried forward into the future.
We've seen Tanner Mordecai and Braden Locke under center here today. When you take a look at these two, how do they set up the quarterback situation for the future of this program?
I think when a new head coach comes in, the two most important positions in a program are head coach number one and probably quarterback number two, because the quarterback is going to be the face of that roster. And with Tanner Mordecai, you have a player who's going to be a sixth-year senior, has tons of experience, threw for over 7,000 yards the last 2 years at SMU. And then in Braden Locke, they have a freshman coming in, a transfer from Mississippi State, that can learn from a player like this and was already in an air raid offense at Mississippi State under the late Mike Leach. So it's a really nice pairing of veteran and youngster that will give them a nice start right away with Tanner Mordecai, and then a player to develop for the future in Braden Locke.
Michael Cohen, Fox Sports writer for college football. Chris, we'll send it back to you.
Brooke, Michael, thank you very much. That was very interesting. During that interview, we saw an interception by Jonas DeClona, an early enrollee freshman from Naples, Florida, number 21. And this is not the first time we've noticed him, Jake.
Well, no, I mean, and once again, what a great day to be a Wisconsin cornerback, because that one was just laid on a platter for him. Nick Evers stared down his receiver. He kind of sailed it, didn't even give himself a shot. You know, just to talk about the Wisconsin offense at this point, avoid the controllable mistakes, right? If you can avoid throwing an interception, just throw it away. But been pretty sloppy at times from the quarterback play standpoint.
And the quarterback now is Marshall Howell. Grover Bortolotti had the last run across midfield. And he carries again and slips just shy of the 40-yard line.
Running games look good. As the games went on, the running game's been able to build momentum. The offensive line's getting settled in. They're getting familiar with these blocking schemes. The running backs are seeing it well. Now, if you're the quarterbacks, you say, hey, let's build off of that rather than try to press beyond that. Avoid some of these interceptions. Avoid some of these mistakes and negative plays.
About a 1-yard gain for Bortolotti there.
Again, just going back to the quarterback room, the phrase they have painted on the wall is knowledge is reps, and knowledge also means knowing when to take the shots, knowing when not to take the shots. You know, early downs, you're throwing into one receiver with 3 white jersey defenders out there, just throw the ball away.
Bortolotti out of the backfield that time, thrown down by Tyler Jancy. Fourth down and 4 for the third unit here. Just 2 touchdown drives for Wisconsin's offense, one by the number 1s, one by the number 2s. The defense has looked good, as Jake has mentioned. 30-14 the score in the second half. Howell slings it, and the pass hauled in by Angel Toombs out of the tight end room for Wisconsin.
And those are just little flat routes. Where the offensive passing game has looked good has really been on the underneath routes. And they started off the game trying to press the ball down the field. You know, the trick really is the great quarterbacks, what they do is they take those underneath routes early. And they force the defense to see those. And then eventually they're going to come up and try to play those underneath routes, those short intermediate routes. That opens up the back end. So, you know, just from a philosophical standpoint, take what the defense gives you early, feel them come up to play that, and then take your shots down the field.
Glaudeman carries. Jordan Mayer finishes him off. You mentioned the repetition being so key to knowledge and comfort in this offense. And there are a lot of reps to be had before the season kicks off against Buffalo in early September. You know, still very early in this installation process. Here's Howell looking for Toombs, who's wide open. Toombs, another early enrollee freshman, played high school football at Rufus King last fall in Milwaukee.
And it's a couple nice catches on this drive. This is what you want out of a big body running down the seam. You know you're going to take a shot. Quarterback puts it right on you. You got to come down with that. Again, building trust at this point. It's a new system. It's new coaches. It's new quarterbacks. And he's coming off to the sideline, catching his breath right there. But that's one way to build trust and earn some more reps and targets.
How the quarterback feeds Glaudeman. A patient run. Brought down inside the 10-yard line by Gabe Kershke.
The running game today, heavy zone scheme. There's been some pullers. Traditionally, it was a lot of power, extra tight ends, fullbacks. Now they're in the gun. Read option. Again, you're in the spread. You're trying to leave one guy unblocked on the backside, lead him for the quarterback to read.
Is caught in the end zone for a touchdown. Good ball from Howell to Alex Moeller. And that's the third touchdown of the day for the Wisconsin offense and the first by this unit.
So this is what I was talking about earlier. You build off these short and intermediate routes. This was a double move outside. So they've run these little out routes, these little stick routes at the 5-yard spot. And then you get down in the red zone and what you do is you show that out route. And then you break it to the middle on a stick pump. And when you hit those underneath routes, you build that equity, so when you do get in the low red zone, you can have a very clean picture and an open wide receiver for your quarterback to hit.
Gavin Lom for the point after try. It's good.
That was a really nice drive.
Really nice drive.
Efficient, a good balance of run and pass, spreading the ball around out to the flats, taking the shots when they were there.
So that was a touchdown by the number 3 unit, and in the first half, that would not have counted towards the score, but the coaching staff said that they want this to be close late, and so they are going to, oh, they did, they just took it off. They put it on the scoreboard, and it looked like it was 30-21, and they took those points away. That's tough.
It's a spring game, so you just expect the unexpected. It's all on the they might put it back. For all we know, they might put it back on in a couple minutes.
Well, if there's a touchdown here, this should count because this is the number 1 unit. Tanner Mordecai, the quarterback, finds Ches Malusi, and that pass incomplete in the turf.
A lot of pressure up the middle. Wisconsin's running a multiple linebacker blitz, something they did at Cincinnati a lot. Just when you have Ches Malusi out into the flats, your running back, that's your extra protector, so Mordecai knows he's hot and gets rid of it, at least avoids the sack, but would like to get that into Malusi's hands so he can go see if he can make some magic happen.
There's Malusi, dances his way across the 30. Malusi entering his 3rd season in the program. It's been bumped and bruised through his first two. Has been a great compliment and would only continue to be if he stays healthy. Started his college career at Clemson. Here's a third down. And Malusi carries again. He got hit hard in the hole by Jordan Turner, and that blew the play dead.
I think one thing we might see, you mentioned compliment, Chris, is getting into 20 personnel, meaning 2 backs, 0 tight ends, finding a way to get both Braylon Allen and Chez Malusi on the field together.
There's Chez. And again, in the second half, the ones won't be tackling each other, so Malusi touchdown at the 40-yard line. It is a first down.
Running behind a big offensive line. They return 4 starters. They're pretty deep. I know they feel they come this fall, they're going to have to rotate 7 or 8 guys again with that tempo. So the fact that they believe they're so deep and there's so much competition is only going to benefit them.
There's Braylon Allen out of the backfield. Good catch on the shoulder by Braylon Allen, showing his ability as a pass catcher.
Very subtle, but Braylon Allen, after this season, just off projecting what he's been able to do carrying the ball, running it on the ground, he looks to be one of the best running backs in the country. But what this new system is going to do is allow him to showcase some of that pass catching and route running ability, which is a heavy desire of NFL scouts at the next level.
Touched down by Jake Chaney there, number 36. Allen is a true home run threat, isn't he, Jake? 4 runs of 70-plus yards in his career. And for comparison, Jonathan Taylor, standout running back for Wisconsin, had 5 such runs in his career. Allen entering his 3rd season. Here's a 3rd and 4. Pass caught over on the boundary, Riley Nowakowski. And Braylon Allen certainly stacks up in yards per carry among Wisconsin's program leaders, and that's quite a list.
What a list. I mean, we've talked about him. Melvin Gordon, James White, played with Melvin Gordon in Denver. I mean, not just great college running backs, those big NFL names as well. Jonathan Taylor, obviously the NFL leader in yards not too long ago. And Braylon Allen, he's following that same trajectory of certainly going on to play in the NFL here soon, but if he continues to improve the way he has throughout his career, could be one of those premier running backs at the next level as well.
Yeah, guys, you're going through the long list of just notable running backs that have come through this program, Melvin Gordon being one of them, and Braylon Allen, that was actually his idol. He said he remembers watching the Badgers growing up, especially that one game versus Nebraska, where Melvin Gordon had an incredible game. He rushed for 408 yards, an FBS record at the time, and he said Gordon was somebody that just really influenced him, and that's really when he fell in love with football. He was just 10 years old, so the fact that he is able to be a running back here at Wisconsin, his favorite team growing up, it's pretty incredible, following in his idol's footsteps.
That is pretty cool, Brooke, and I remember that game as well. It was a night game, and it turned into a snow globe here at Camp Randall, Jake, kind of like it was earlier today for this spring game with the snow flurries flying. Here's Tanner Mordecai, heaves it toward the end zone in the direction of Chimere Dike, but the whistle sounded before Mordecai released the ball.
It's a good job again by this Wisconsin secondary, because Mordecai's just having to hang on to the ball a little bit longer than he'd like to, right? You'd like to see your quarterback get that ball out in rhythm, but there's just nowhere to go with it. They're trying to run the deep crosser concept down the field. Mordecai's hanging in the pocket as long as he can, keeping his eyes down there, but again, nowhere to go with the ball, and that's a credit to the back end of this Wisconsin defense.
2nd and long. A dart to C.J. Williams, who makes the catch at the 20. Just shy, make it the 22. C.J. Williams, again, really impressive credentials transferring in from USC.
Got a lot of hype. You know, we were talking about in the pregame just what they've done in the portal and what we can project forward. It's been a while, you know, talking to people around the program. This could be the best receiver room that Wisconsin has had in recent history with the organic talent they brought last year and the guys they've done in the portal. And, you know, C.J. Williams is the biggest name they have, a top 10 receiver, a 4-star recruit back in high school, and now finds himself up in Madison, Wisconsin.
That play busted by a high snap. Brooke, you got a little bit more on C.J. Williams?
Yeah, guys, you know, C.J. Williams, he plays with this certain feistiness when he goes out on the field. He says, listen, I got to go out there and act like I have a chip on my shoulder with that dog in my head. And he always just wants to bring that mentality because football is a passionate sport. Now, if you're wondering where he kind of got that edge from, he said, hey, it's a California thing. He grew up in Santa Ana, and he's been playing with it since he was just 4 years old. He said he would grow up playing with a lot of the kids from LA neighborhoods, and you see it on a daily basis. So whatever it may be, that little chippiness, or sometimes he likes to spin the ball after he scores a touchdown. Keep an eye out for that. He said that's just a common thing for him, and that's where he gets that edge from.
Also went to high school, Mater Dei High School. If you're familiar with that name, it's a nationally recognized, a great powerhouse high school. And they play great high school football out there in California, a big state. When you're a top recruit to come out of such a big state, such a big high school, it just speaks on your potential, right? USC and what they've been trying to do with Lincoln Riley and the passing attack, right? They were heavily desiring this guy, and now here he finds himself in this new system with Phil Longo up here in Wisconsin.
There's a missed field goal there for Nathaniel Vakos. Wisconsin's offense in the red, Wisconsin's defense in the white, quarterbacks in black. And Tanner Mordecai out of the huddle, #1 unit still on the field. That's for both offense and defense. From the 25, Ches Malusi is the tailback. He was quickly hit and dropped, if you will, by Jordan Turner.
Jordan Turner back. Muma Jongmeta back. Jake Chaney, another inside linebacker that's been mentioned. Look at the stronger groups of this defense. Certainly Ricardo Hallman and some of the secondary has showcased their talent, but they return a lot there right down the pipe between the middle linebackers.
Well, tonight, one of the best rivalries in men's lacrosse renews. Johns Hopkins battles Maryland, and then the women's lacrosse regular season concludes with a showdown between the Wildcats and the Terrapins. It's all tonight only on Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. More from Mordecai. Pursued by Turner again, who had the sack on the previous play. You know, Tanner Mordecai, 6th year in college football, but the coaching staff has really been impressed at how he's not acted like it. He's really had the humility of a first-year player coming in into the program.
And that's so important. It came up in all of our conversations with the staff throughout the week. We talk about him, and most people talk about him, hey, he's going to be the starter next year, but he's earned that leadership throughout the offseason.
Just over 8 minutes to play in the second half. The defense leads the offense of Wisconsin in the spring game. Braylon Allen poised for a big junior season under first-year head coach Luke Fickell in Madison. This is Marshall Howe at quarterback for Wisconsin's #3 offense, matched up with the #3 defense. Late second half of the Wisconsin spring game. Howe airs it out, and his intended receiver was tripped up on the play. Intended receiver Cam Fain. This is an officiated game. We had seen penalties today. There was not one called there, and it's second down.
Kind of hung one out there. I thought defensive back had a chance to get his hands on that, and again, just emphasizing that point for these quarterbacks, understanding when to take risks. If you do take the risk, where do you want to miss? You know, sometimes for a quarterback, you make the throw and say, I want to put it only where my guy can get it.
Glaudeman on the carry. He's been running hard today. I'll get all the news and highlights from around the conference on the Big Show tonight at 10 Eastern on the Big Ten Network. Wisconsin, Nebraska, Minnesota, all with spring football games today. You're heading out east next weekend, aren't you, Jake, for the Maryland spring game?
That's right. Tua Tagovailoa back, most experienced quarterback in the entire conference. Of course, spring ball, just get a chance to evaluate some of these teams and all the new pieces and the transfer portal and the new recruits.
Yeah, Tua Tagovailoa, he is fun to watch. That high-octane Maryland offense. Minimal gain on the ground for Grover Bortolotti, and he's slow to get up. With this play by Bortolotti notwithstanding, it has been a good day on the injury front. Cade Iacomelli, another running back for Wisconsin, was shaken up in the first half and has since returned to the spring game. How the quarterback, another deep shot, looking for Anderson, and the pass well short. That's what you want as much as anything else. You want to get through this spring game healthy.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you ask any coach what their #1 goal is through a spring game, they say, let's just keep our guys healthy, right? It's a game, it's the conclusion of the spring ball, but they look at the entire body of work in their evaluation. This doesn't count to the record. The only thing that really would count is keeping your guys healthy so you can go into summer training and get into camp at full strength.
You do see seasons end, sadly, in the spring season. Takeaway of the Wisconsin spring game today, Jake, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it's been the defense for Wisconsin. It looks good, especially on the back end.
Especially with the first unit as well. You know, so much conversation was about this new look offense. They've been having a good spring, but so far, a lot of mistakes. Number of interceptions. Ricardo Hallman has 3 on the day, so he might be the MVP of the entire launch spring game.
I would agree.
You know, again, it is a spring game, right? If there's a time to make mistakes, it is here in April, so you can go into the summer and say, all right, guys, here's something that continually pops up. Let's go ahead and work on this one thing, and then you start camp with that improvement in mind.
Well, and the number ones are not tackling here in the second half, but Braylon Allen still on the field with the last carry for Wisconsin.
I think one interesting thing to touch on here, again, talking about this new offense, you know, when the past couple years with Braylon Allen, you have a couple tight ends, you have a couple fullbacks, so the defense has to match personnel. That means he's running into an 8 or 9 man box, and I think he tweeted this year when he found out that this was going to be his new system, I'm so excited to not run into a 9 man box. There's just a lot more space for him to move around, and again, if there's 8 or 9 guys in the box, now there's 6 or 7. If you can break through that initial push, you're gone.
Just creates so many better matchups, too, you were telling me. I mean, you've got, in an 8 or a 9 man box, you've still got the same number of guys blocking. When you spread it out, then suddenly you've got 6 blocking 7 as opposed to 6 blocking 9.
Right.
Here's a 3rd down for Tanner Mordecai into traffic, and the pass was caught by Skylar Bell after a deflection. It went through the hands of the aforementioned Braylon Allen, and Skylar Bell was in the right place at the right time.
It's caught, but let's look at that again. He's not seeing, that was a linebacker, Jong Meta, coming over. Didn't really see that again. We've talked about making the smart play now throughout the spring game, avoiding the mistakes. A risky throw that ended up bouncing in his favor that time.
First down from midfield. Ches Malusi. whistled down at the 42. Credit Alexander Smith with the tackle. Number 11, the cornerback. Smith matches up with C.J. Williams, the USC transfer now. Mordecai on second down with an empty backfield. Incomplete behind the tight end Nowakowski. You know, there's been that element too, just passes a little bit behind, a little bit, you know, sailed.
And even that, with a little bit behind, you got to catch the ball. You know, there was an interception where you put it right in C.J. Williams' hands, a ball he has to come down with. So it hasn't all been on the quarterback. I think, you know, everyone will look at this film and say, hey, I know that there's a number of different ways I can be better.
Procedural penalty at the snap. It was big Gio Paez who knocked the Wisconsin center back. That is a penalty on Paez, who's from Los Angeles.
Situation two, right? 3rd and 2. Defensive line, you got to know, expect the double count. They're going to try to get you to jump, and you do get them to jump, and now you move the chains without even having to run a play.
Mordecai in trouble, and he throws it out of bounds. Pugh, the tight end, was the intended target.
You know, one thing I've noticed too, you know, looking at Luke Fickell and Coach Tressel, this new defense, they've brought pressure a number of different ways throughout the broadcast. It's been nickel blitzes, it's been linebacker ads, they've brought a corner blitz, we call it a cat blitz. And at times it feels as though the offensive line and the running backs aren't on the same page in how to best pick up that blitz, and it's affected the way the quarterbacks are able to push the ball down the field.
The pitch to Braylon Allen on second down, and he's strung out right at the 35, about a 2-yard gain. There is a good number of return on Wisconsin's defensive personnel this season. Nearly 3/4 of their total tackles and about half of their sacks.
Yeah, your two leading tacklers, Jong Meta and Jordan Turner, the linebackers there in the middle, but you see the sacks highlighted down there. You're losing your elite pass rusher, Nick Herbig, who's going on to the next level. And the question now becomes, is who replaces him? And that's traditionally been a position of great success here in Wisconsin. Those edge rushers, those stand-up guys, TJ Watt, Vince Beagle, Nick Herbig now. Who's going to be next in line?
An offside penalty called there. Working our way down towards the end of the second half of the spring game. There is expected to be a 2-minute drill for the 1s and the 2s after the timed portion of this second half elapses. Here's a 3rd down for Mordecai. Braylon Allen gallops up the middle, and again, no tackling here in the second half, but he's sniffing the end zone even though it's the spring, Jake.
That's what the great running back should do when you're tagged off. Say, hey man, unless you bring me to the ground, I'm not tackled, right? You practice running through the end zone. That's what all the great running backs I've played with have emphasized. But I just like that the fact notice the alignment here with Malusi, how he's slightly behind the quarterback. When they get these handoffs, what that allows them to do is they're downhill right now. And with a guy like Braylon Allen, again, 6'2", 240, he's a freight train. When he gets that downward momentum, it's going to be really hard to stop him immediately in his tracks.
That's a sack. Mumajong Meta, number 55. Jake, you've talked about him. Some help from Jordan Turner as well.
Well, a big piece here in Jong Meta, already a proven guy. He's a starter last year, now he returns. But here's a name for Wisconsin fans to look up. Look up Ivan Pace Jr., the middle linebacker in the Cincinnati defensive structure last year, a guy that's going to get drafted in those mid to late rounds. similar playing style, similar explosiveness, and Coach Tressel said he wants Jong Meta to follow that same path of Ivan Pace Jr., just to go out there and make plays.
Mordecai over the middle. Malusi, the emergency valve on that play, ruled down just inside the 30-yard line. It's 3rd and long.
And brought down again by Jong Meta. He's got the sack there on 2nd down. Comes up and makes a stop there, and now you force 3rd down. Doing a little bit of everything.
Jong Meta had a great season last year. 3rd team All Big Ten. Led the team in tackles, as a matter of fact.
And the challenge that Coach Tressel said is now to elevate. Right? Don't just do your job. Go out there and make the plays that the very few guys make. He thinks he's capable of that. He thinks he can be one of the stars and the heartbeat there in the middle of this defense.
Mordecai to Malusi, stood up by who?
Jong Meta.
Right at the 25.
It's 3 straight, huh?
3 straight.
Sack, tackle. Now he's in coverage, comes up and makes the tackle.
That's a great point. Showing his versatility in the middle from the Chicago suburbs. We'll follow this drive to its conclusion, and that could be just one play away with the field goal unit on. Nate Van Zelst from the hash mark, kicking with the wind at his back. This is a 43-yarder. Just a little bit wide. We're going to call it a day from Madison for the 2023 Wisconsin Spring Football Game. The launch has been completed. If you're scoring at home, the defense beats the offense 33-24, but a lot of excitement around this program because of that guy and that guy, Luke Fickell, the head coach, Braylon Allen, the running back. That wraps things up from Camp Randall. For Jake Butt and Brooke Fletcher, I'm Chris Foster's saying so long from Madison. You've been watching Spring Football on the Big Ten Network.